As Jiang Jia stayed late after school for her duty, she noticed a suspicious man acting furtively near the grade 11 school building. Aware of recent thefts on campus, Jiang Jia remained vigilant. When she approached him, the man claimed his son, a grade 12 student, had left a test paper and he was there to pick it up. However, his movement towards the grade 11 building despite his claim, along with his uneasy demeanor, convinced Jiang Jia he was lying. She suspected he was the thief, as many items had been stolen from the school buildings and he had come from the direction of the broken west school gate. Without confronting him directly, Jiang Jia went to the main gate and informed the security guards, urging them to apprehend the man for questioning. As Jiang Jia turned to leave, she found Gu Ran waiting for her. He walked her home, praising her for her calm and brave handling of the situation. Gu Ran told her that her unusual bravery and righteousness were rare and genuine strengths, emphasizing that not everyone would stand up to injustice. Pleased and slightly embarrassed, Jiang Jia joked that he must have spent 2 evening self-study sessions thinking up such compliments. Inspired by his words, Jiang Jia later filled out her Gaokao aspiration form, indicating her dream of becoming a reporter. Meanwhile, Mr. Lin called Su Zizai to his office to discuss her college aspirations. Su Zizai confirmed her goal was to attend East China University, just like Zhang Lurong. Mr. Lin encouraged her but pointed out that based on her current grades, even with her strong English scores, her math score would need to reach at least 110. Recognizing her English proficiency, Mr. Lin suggested she also take the autonomous admission exam, explaining it would provide her with an additional path to a good university, even if East China University wasn't an option through that route. Su Zizai agreed, motivated not only by Mr. Lin's advice, but also by the fact that the interview was in Suyang, offering a chance to visit Zhang Lurong's school. At the autonomous admission interview, Su Zizai coincidentally met a student from Suyang No. 1 High School who knew of Zhang Lurong. The student described him as low-key and uninterested in interacting with girls, advising Su Zizai to give up if she was trying to get his number. When Su Zizai's phone fell, the student saw a photo of Su Zizai and Zhang Lurong on her phone case, and, assuming it was a photoshopped image, remarked on Su Zizai's deep obsession. Su Zizai offered no explanation, content just to know that Zhang Lurong was doing well. After the interview, Su Zizai called Jiang Jia, who said she, Gu Ran, and Guanfang were having dinner near the bus station and could pick her up. Su Zizai mentioned she had over 2 hours before her train departed and wanted to visit Zhang Lurong's school. Gu Ran, overhearing on speakerphone, noted that Zhang Lurong couldn't use his phone and wouldn't know she was there, but Su Zizai insisted she just wanted to see his school. Upon arriving at Suyang No. 1 High School, she spotted Zhang Lurong's photo on the honor roll in 10th place and asked the school guard to take a photo of her with it. Just then, Zhang Lurong appeared, explaining that Gu Ran had called Zhang Luli, who then notified him. Zhang Lurong gave Su Zizai a tour of his school. Su Zizai confided that the autonomous admission was just a backup plan and she was still determined to get into East China University. She urged him not to be distracted and to pursue his own dreams, regardless of whether they ended up at the same university. She emphasized that becoming better individuals together was the most important thing and that they should not abandon their dreams for each other. Zhang Lurong agreed, affirming their efforts were what truly mattered. Back in Jiangyi, Su Zizai plunged into intense Gaokao preparation. Mr. Lin later announced that Su Mingliang had received guaranteed admission to the University of South China, and that Wang Nan, Su Zizai, and Chen Min had all passed their autonomous admission exams. He delivered an inspiring speech, reminding his students that while textbooks offer clear answers, life's challenges do not, and urged them to work hard to avoid future regrets. In her final letter to Zhang Lurong, Su Zizai wrote about time slipping away, her exhaustion, and how the thought of him also working hard motivated her. She shared the good news that her math scores were consistently above 100 and mentioned the school's trend of throwing coins into a wishing pool, a wish she made in the hope that his efforts would not be in vain. After the Gaokao, the students gathered for their graduation ceremony. Gu Ran found multiple excuses to take photos with Jiang Jia, asking for retakes until they were perfect. Feeling a little left out, Su Zizai called Zhang Lurong, only to find him standing right behind her. He explained he had come specifically for their graduation, saying that Yong'an felt more like his true home than Suyang. Their friends then gathered them for a group photo, capturing the happy moment. Later, Guanfang eagerly led his friends to his grandmother's dessert shop to try her new pineapple shaved ice, but they found the shop unlocked and empty. A neighbor informed them that his grandmother had fallen unconscious and been rushed to People's Hospital. They rushed to the hospital, where Gu Ran's mother, Ms. Chun, was the attending physician. She explained that his grandmother, Chun Lan, had suffered a ruptured spleen and hypovolemic shock, requiring immediate surgery. Despite the daunting news, Guanfang calmly signed the consent form. The surgery was successful, and his grandmother was out of danger. The experience forced Guanfang to mature, realizing that adulthood meant carrying heavy responsibilities. He expressed his gratitude for his friend's support, acknowledging that even adults need friends to be able to let their guard down. As Zhang Lurong walked Su Zizai home that evening, he commented on the beautiful post-rain sky and suggested that the next day would be a nice day. When Su Zizai urged him to go home and rest, Zhang Lurong repeated his observation about the nice weather and subtly asked if she was free tomorrow. Later, Su Zizai was using a small recording device to capture her feelings about graduation. She lamented her one high school regret, never having been in the same class as Zhang Lurong. She wished they could have been desk mates, so she could pretend to borrow his pen just to turn and see him. Just then, Zhang Lurong appeared and asked what she was recording. Su Zai replied that she was capturing precious high school memories. When he asked if she had recorded him, she confirmed she had. Su Zai excitedly shared with Jiang Jia that Zhang Lurong had invited her to the summer market, and she planned to confess her feelings to him there. Jiang Jia expressed concern about their future should they attend different universities, but Su Zai was unworried, confident that distance couldn't stop them. When Su Zai described the certainty of her feelings, feeling his joy and sorrow as her own, she asked Jiang Jia if she had ever felt that way about someone. Jiang Jia denied it, claiming she only admired people for their competence, though an image of Gu Ran flashed through her mind. She deflected by suggesting that one's subconscious doesn't lie and playfully returned the question to Su Zai. Drawing inspiration from idol dramas, Jiang Jia outlined a detailed confession plan. First, Su Zai was to adopt a softer, more coquettish speaking style and call him Brother Rang. She tried, but he immediately told her to act normal, prompting her to blame it on a sore throat. Second, she was to create physical contact by faking a fall into his arms. Su Zai attempted a dramatic stumble, but Zhang Lurong, while catching her, simply teased her for being so light. Third, she was to hint at her feelings. Su Zai mentioned her parents wanting her to marry by 30, implying she needed to start an ideal 10-year romance soon. She also brought up zodiac signs, claiming her Sagittarius and his Aries were a perfect match, only for him to clarify his solar birthday, made him a Pisces, and express skepticism about horoscopes. When these methods failed, Jiang Jia suggested a killer move, consulting her distant relative, Hao Juan, who was running a tarot card stall at the market. At the stall, Hao Juan, whose name sounds like very accurate, read their cards. He declared Su Zai a very lucky person who would bring good fortune to her future boyfriend. For Zhang Lurong, he predicted a future girlfriend with bangs, long hair, and a pink outfit, then pointedly asked for Su Zai's name and announced she was Zhang Lurong's fated one. Su Zai found the stunt too obvious, and Jiang Jia resigned herself to her plan's failure. Shortly after, Gu Ran appeared with a girl who was interested in him and quickly used Jiang Jia as a shield, declaring Jiang Jia was the one he liked. He gave a heartfelt description of her quirks, from singing off-key to being deeply affected by sad novels, and how her smile was all he could see. To repay Jiang Jia for her help, Gu Ran agreed to get a tarot reading from Hao Juan. The reader pulled the lover's card, suggesting a deep connection. Gu Ran dismissed it as a trick, but Jiang Jia argued the situation was not in her favor. Later, Jiang Jia told her friends she would never date a close friend, as it could ruin the friendship if they broke up. Gu Ran, who overheard her, appeared visibly disheartened. Later that evening, Su Zai and Zhang Lurong played a word game. After a few playful rounds, Zhang Lurong gave Su Zai the words Zhang Lurong, likes, and Su Zai. Before she could form a sentence, he confessed, I like you, admitting that while he was usually confident, this was the one thing he felt uncertain about. Su Zai was stunned, her own elaborate confession plans completely upstaged by his simple, direct declaration. Both were overjoyed, barely able to contain their smiles for the rest of the night. The next day, Su Zai was ecstatic to learn she had scored 586 on her exams, her highest score ever and enough to get into East China University. She tried to call Zhang Lurong to share the news, but his phone was unreachable, making her worry. Soon after, he called and said he was downstairs. Seeing his solemn expression, Su Zai began reassuring him that the distance between universities wouldn't affect their relationship. Zhang Lurong then broke into a smile, revealing he was only joking and that the distance between them would only be from the male dorm to the female dorm. Realizing she'd been pranked, Su Zai playfully declared she would be in charge of his university life, to which he replied that he was honored. He then said he wanted to make a list of things to do together before university, starting with watching the sunrise. Zhang Lurong invited Su Zai on a sunrise camping trip, and she dressed up, expecting a romantic date. However, Gu Ran appeared with his luggage, having seen Zhang Lurong packing and deciding to tag along, completely oblivious to their plans. To Su Zai's frustration, Gu Ran thought he was being included in a surprise. Fortunately, Jiang Jia arrived and helped create space for the new couple. While asking Gu Ran to help her fix a light, he took the opportunity to tell her he was going abroad for an important exchange program. Though disappointed, Jiang Jia supported his decision. Later, while stargazing, Su Zai and Zhang Lurong shared a hug. A half-asleep Guanfeng spotted them and excitedly told Gu Ran he saw a strange figure that looked like one person with two heads, a man in a black jacket and a woman with long hair. Gu Ran and Jiang Jia quickly realized he was describing Zhang Lurong and Su Zai. Guanfeng later confronted Zhang Lurong, asking when the relationship started. He then made Zhang Lurong promise not to tell his grandmother, fearing it would only add to his own pressures. During the serious talk, Zhang Lurong was busy texting goodnight to Su Zai, much to Gu Ran's annoyance. In a letter, Gu Ran revealed to his friends that he was already at the airport, explaining he left without a goodbye because he feared he wouldn't be able to leave if he saw them. He reflected on their friendship, calling their meeting a reunion after a long time apart, and cherished their shared memories. He was happy everyone was on their chosen path, Guanfeng in economics, Jiang Jia in journalism, and Su Zai and Zhang Lurong finally together. He expressed hope they would all reunite as better people. He gave special advice to Jiang Jia, telling her to call his name if she ever felt afraid, as it would give her strength. As the sun rose, Su Zizai presented Zhang Lurong with the contract she had written for him earlier. She explained it needed an update now that she was no longer just his teacher. The new note congratulated him on having a girlfriend and urged him to cherish her, declaring that Su Zizai was the one and only perfect match for him. Zhang Lurong blushed as Su Zizai playfully teased him.
If you love the story, subscribe for the next episode.